We are back, and we're going to continue on from where we left off last time. So, we have our most important mission, which we have decided is the goal of our campaign. We have an important location, Elrez, which is the city that the campaign begins in. We have some important characters so far. We have Arthur, the person that's going to issue the party the quest, and we have King Steve, the king of Elrez. We also need to add in another important character. I forgot to do this last time. This guy is, his name's in here. Let me go look for it. Let's see. Wraith. Yes, Wraith. And the quick description that we can come up with for him is he is the leader of the Trumpist. Leader of the clan known as the Trumpist. Cool. And continuing onwards from here, we know that we have some history, which is that the lands near and far from Elrez have been war-stricken for the last 60 years. And we know that there's some religions, there's some important battles, money, etc. These are things that we have to figure out. Okay, so before we do anything else, let's go ahead and build on top of this city, Elrez. So we're going to go ahead and add in a little underling right here. So we're going to put in some towns. We'll put in a town called Nurkle, which has between, let's say it has between 500 and 1,000 people. And then we'll put in another town, and we'll call this one Gurmak. And we'll say that this one has between, let's say the same, 500 to, we'll say 1,200 for this one. It's a little bit bigger, so we'll say between 700 and 1,200 people. And then let's go ahead and put in some villages as well. We'll name this one, let's name it, I'm running out of good names to work with, so I'm just going to have to make up some plain ones. We'll go with Fiddlesticks. League of Legends reference. We'll go with Fiddleland. Cool. And the village has between 100 and 200 people. And we'll go ahead and make another village. And we'll name this one, Quainthus. The village of Quainthus. And this one will have between 150 and 250 people. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and start thinking about our town. No, actually, no, our city, Elrez. So let's go ahead and make another pillar. We're going to call this one location descriptions. Okay. So we need to think through everything that the players might want to do in Elrez before they leave. Give me 1 second. I'm going to take a couple sips of water. All right, cool. So our characters, they might want to go shopping before they leave on the quest. They might want to try to get some better weapons. They might want to visit churches. They might want to visit history places such as libraries. They might even want to go visit the king, for all we know. There's so many things the characters might want to do before they leave. They might even want to do a couple side quest missions, which is all good stuff. But before they can do any of that, we have to think through what is in Elrez. So let's go ahead and start thinking it through. We'll do Elrez, and we'll go ahead and do an open bracket, and we'll put in some locations. So in Elrez, there's going to be a blacksmith. We'll make it that there. Actually, we'll do this first. Elrez is going to be broken up into 3 sections. So we'll call the first section, we're going to call it the Trumpist controlled area. This is the area within the city that we know the Trumpists control. and we're going to go ahead and put in what is in that area. So we're going to put in some homes, because there are homes within this area. We're going to put in a blacksmith. We're going to put in a tannery and a general store, as well as an inn. We'll go ahead and come back and we'll dive in deeper into what exactly each and every single one of these places has to offer, such as what they sell, who runs the place, and things like that at a later time. But we'll come back to that momentarily, like I said. Okay, cool. So Trempest controlled areas, let's go ahead and bold that area. And then we're going to go ahead and bold again, and we'll go ahead and write down uncontrolled Trempest areas. So these are areas in the city that the Trempests do not control. We're going to put in homes, because that's a given. We're going to put in a blacksmith. We'll say that there's another 3 blacksmiths out there. No, not 30 blacksmiths, 3. We'll put in some tanneries. We'll say that there's another 2 tanneries out there. We'll put in the general store. Remember, this is a huge, huge city. So general stores, I feel like there's going to be a lot of those in this city, so we'll put 7. And for inns and whatnot, we'll go ahead and put, once again, this is a really big city, so we'll go ahead and put in 12. 12 inns. Cool. And like I said, we're going to come back and we can change all of this. All of this can be changed, because I'm going to walk us through making a map of this city as well. And if we decide that we need to change things, or we need to take away things, or if we need to add things in, that can all be done later on. Remember, this is your campaign that you're making. Everything is subject to change as you see fit. Cool. So let's go ahead and think about outside the walls. So outside the walls, we're actually going to go ahead and take advantage of one of those villages that we made. We're going to say that Cointhus is outside the village walls, about 1.5 miles away. So Cointhus is about 1.5 miles. Did I misspell this? Yes, I did. It is Cointhus. It's about 1.5 miles away from the front gate of Elrez, and has an inn, a blacksmith / tannery, and a small general store, as well as a church. In fact, I forgot to add that into these locations. I need to add a church, some churches in. Churches. And we need to come back and we need to figure out what religions these churches coordinate with, but we'll do that later on as we dive more into the history. And once again, this is a huge, huge city, so there's probably a lot of churches. So we'll go ahead and put down 15 for now. Cool. What is this? Don't worry about it. Okay, so now we have more of a description about the city Elrez. So that's really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here, and I think in the next video I'm going to start walking us through making our first map of this city, and we'll keep building off of that.